We've got the table up, and we will be starting the game shortly here. And here we are. It's going to be Noise, piloted by INO 209 versus Yankee Flatline's Tenon. Very excited to see Tenon. We saw a little bit of this last week. Before this game really gets started, I need to give thank yous. Thank you so much to the folks who have subscribed recently. It's Pure Flight 11, Lego Phil, Pete Johnson 20, Oscillate, and Comfest. Thank you guys so much. It really means a lot when you guys subscribe and hang out in the chat, have a good time. Alright, this game is getting off to a rather slow start for Yankee Flatline. Installs an ice and advances it. Actually, for their first click, they draw a card, then install advance. Over on INO 209 side of the board, they are drawing some cards, installing a daily cast, and gaining credits. Rather timid start to this game from both players. Tenon ability fires, gets another advancement on the ice on R&D. Yankee goes ahead and installs ice on archives, and HQ really wants to solidify those central servers and get as many Tenon tokens as possible. There is a real possibility that their Noise opponent won't be putting a lot of pressure on them until later on in the game. Want to prepare for that. INO, using their first two clicks on their second turn to draw cards, drops an Obelisk and gains a credit. Pitches a Severnus Stem Implants from their grip. Severnus Stem Implants a card that I really enjoy. In a lot of ways, it reminds me of a deconstructed Faust, in that Faust is a card that lets you turn other cards in your hand into accesses, so does Severnus Stem Implants. Yankee Flatline really prioritizing building servers in this early part of the game. It's down to 1 credit. Back over to INO 209. More cash coming in from Daily Cast. And decides to make a run on HQ. Let's see what they find in there. Yankee goes ahead and spends 1 credit, down to 0 credits now, to res an Ice Wall. The Ice Wall is going to fire, it looks like. We can see in INO's 209's hand that they've got some spicy cards in the form of Counter Surveillance, Jargony Mercs, and Mars for the Martians. INO is now running on R&D. Accesses a Chrysalis, takes 2 damage from the Chrysalis, and is able to trash it. Gets a card back from Obelisk. Looks like they lost a Counter Surveillance and a Mars for Martians. Not the best. Although they did draw into a God of War later on during their turn. Yankee is drawing up some more cards. Really looking for economy. Doesn't look like Yankee has had any economy this whole game. INO getting up in credits with the Daily Cast, but decides to drop the God of War, wants to start building up some tags, and just gains credits. Interestingly, God of War is a virus, so it does fire the Noise ability. Very interesting. Yankee's up to 8 credits. Mask Commercialization really paid off there last turn. And Yankee has also just drawn into an Obacoda Protocol. Opts not to try to score it, instead draws again, draws into a data loop. My goodness. And installs a bin and an Obacoda Protocol in the in server 1. I'm going to start advancing that out here pretty shortly. Ino decides to use God of War to gain 2 virus counters, which can break subroutines, but 1 tag. Ino now has 1 tag from God of War and is running on R&D. Potentially looking to shut down... Looks like Yankee rezzed the Archives Ice instead of the R&D Ice, and that's also an Ice Wall. God of War gonna break this likely for 6 credits? I don't think so. We'll see how Ino handles this. Yeah, Ino decides to jack out. Unfortunately for God of War, the boost cost is 2 credits for 1 strength, not the kind of rate that makes AI breakers efficient. Works a lot better with something like Cipher, or with something like Parasite and Data Sucker, but not a lot of viruses have come out. No Data Suckers, no Parasites around right now. Ino thinking about how they're going to spend the rest of their turn. Doesn't have a ton of options in hand and opts to run on server 1. Yankee doesn't res the outermost piece of ice, but does res a data loop. The win encountered ability of data loop is the runner must add 2 cards from his or her grip to the top of their stack. Gonna have to stack cards from their grip manually on top of the stack. That's not the best feeling. And it looks like it was missed that. It looks like it was the counter surveillance and the Jargonu Mercs. And the tag looks like this the first subroutine on data loop ends the run. And Ino just draws a card and makes a run on Archives for their last click. Wants to turn off the Tenon ability, is likely afraid of a Nisei. However, Yankee is down to 0 credits. Just drew into another mass commercialization though. That's going to really get him up there. I wonder if it's going to be... Okay, so they play a shipment from Kaiguya. Going to advance the Obacoda Protocol in server 1. And gonna place... I'm not sure where the other token went, but played mass commercialization for 12. I mean, a feat in itself. Very impressive. God of War goes ahead and gains more virus counters. Ino 209 up to 2 tags now. And how are they going to move forward with their turn? They draw a Jargonu Mercs, which was they knew was there, and they draw into a Dirty Laundry. Not a lot of great ways to use the Dirty Laundry right at this moment. However, that will get them... I mean, Dirty Laundry always feels good if you can play it efficiently, right? So, Ino opts to install Counter Surveillance and install Jargonu Mercs, going up to 3 tags. That's going to put some pressure on Yankee Flatline to react. We'll see if they go ahead and trash the Counter Surveillance. They draw into a Honeypot, not the worst thing to draw into right now. They are trying to score out of server 1, and it looks like they'll be able to do so because of the Tenon ability. Let's see. They go ahead and advance. They advance twice. Let's see if they advance twice and trash the Counter Surveillance. No, they advance twice, draw into a snare, and throw the Honeypot in the bin. Alright, God of War gains another set of tokens, up to 6 tokens, 4 tags for Ino 209. Let's see how they are going to use their turn. 5 credits. Draw into a Deja Vu. Not particularly relevant at the moment, unless they want a Deja Vu for Mars for Martians. Off the top of my head, it doesn't strike me as exceptionally efficient, but they go ahead and do it. So their turn is draw into Deja Vu, gain 2 credits, and then play Deja Vu. Next turn, they will be able to play the Mars for Martian, gaining 5 credits, right? Yeah, 5 credits and drawing a card. It's pretty good. However, Yankee has trashed Counter Surveillance and played a preemptive action. We're going back for the Chrysalis and both the mass commercializations. Can't argue with that. Preemptive action. An interesting card for me. Obviously, the Jackson Howard ability, way too good to just print outright. Again, in the same type of card. Putting it on a click makes it a little bit harder to use. Let's see. After playing Mars for Martians, INO 209 gets down a paperclip and is running Dirty Laundry now. Gonna break into HQ for 1 credit. Let's see if they hit the snare there. Nope, they access a data loop. Oh, draw a card with Obelisk. That's a sure gamble. That feels real good. And then they click again and draw into another Dirty Laundry. Over on Yankee's side of the turn, they draw into an IPO. Let's see if they click twice and play IPO. Yep, looks like that's what it's going to be. Yankee up to 13 credits. INO at 8. Yankee at 3 points. INO yet to see any points here. God of War takes some more tokens. Up to 6 tags. INO plays the sure gamble. Likely gonna play the sure gamble, play the Dirty Laundry, and then... not sure what after that. Gotta wonder where INO thinks agendas are at. They draw into another Mars for Martians. Very powerful. And then they drop Mimic and Yogg. There you go. Looks like they're only planning on using God of War to build up some tokens on, or excuse me, some tags. Over on Yankee side of the board, draws into Shipment from Tenon. Arguably the best shipment card. For a long time, I had considered Mushin Notion to be essentially the Kentucky shipment. Yankee clicks to draw, pulls an IPO. Yep, they install a data loop on R&D and play the IPO, up to 16 credits. God of War gets some more virus counters. Up to 7 tags on God of War. Plays Mars for Martian. Mars for Martians. Now INO's got a Data Sucker. Now they have 2 Data Suckers. They've got 1 installed. No more MU left for INO. 1 Data Sucker, Paperclip, Mimic, Yogg, and God of War. Over on Yankee side of the board, uses the Tenon ability on the Data Ward and draws into an Obokota Protocol. It's quite possible that they install Advance or install Advance this Obokota Protocol. They install it at the very least. Let's see if they... Nope, they advance the Ice protecting Server 1 at Position 1. I'm not exactly sure what this is. In fact, I have no idea. So they don't advance the Obokota Protocol. Color Mage, it is a tongue twister. A lot of Jinteki cards are tongue twisters, in fact. Chat helped me with the correct pronunciation of Kaguyo the other week. INO 209 is running Archives with a Dirty Laundry. Gonna break for 1 credit. Gonna see 2 Honeypots and an Enigma. It's a Data Sucker token. Loses 2 credits to the Honey Farms. Does turn off the Tenon ability. Very positive. The INO 209 with 2 clicks left, draws into another Dirty Laundry. Seems like a lot of Dirty Laundries have come out so far. And is now running on HQ, not a Dirty Laundry this time. Hits a Komainu, likely gonna pay 2 credits and then spend a bunch of God of War tokens. Nope, opts to break with Mimic for 4 credits. Gonna break the gonna break the Ice Wall for 1. Let's see if it hits a snare. There we go. Yes, they hit the snare. Not gonna take him out of the game. Does hit a very important medium. And finishes off their turn by drawing a card. Does draw into a Parasite. Very relevant at this point in the game, especially with something like Komainu. Yankee Flatline has drawn into a Project Junebug. He's down to 4 credits and has an unscored Obokota Protocol in Server 1 unadvanced. Let's see. INO 209 starting their turn. Wonder how it's gonna go. Not incredibly clear plays to me. Server 1 doesn't look particularly promising, given that no advancements have gone into that. Yankee Flatline has largely ignored what's in Server 1, making it encouraging the runner to also ignore what's in Server 1. R&D looks potentially promising since Yankee hasn't really tried to aggressively do anything. INO 209 does draw into a Levy AR lab access and a same old thing. For their turn, they draw twice, gain a credit. Will they play the Levy? Probably a little too soon. They decide to make a run on HQ, and they're gonna break with God of War this time. All right, gonna pay 1 to break the Ice Wall, and will they access the Junebug? Nope, they access a shipment from Tenon. Draw a card with Obelisk, and now they have got a counter surveillance. They do have 10 tags, so they're gonna have to get well above 10 credits to get in anywhere. Yankee with 5 credits is gonna click twice and advance the Obokota Protocol once. Can't say it's a bad play. I believe the the outermost card. I actually don't know. So INO 209 is going to gain another tag, up to 11 tags. How are they going to get above, say, 20 credits that they're going to need to get into a server and successfully fire the counter surveillance? That is the question that I am wondering. Looks like they've run through a fair amount of their economy. Let's see. A daily cast, 3 Dirty Laundries, a Sure Gamble, and 2 Mars for Martians. Possibly planning on getting a board built, sizable board built, and then playing the Levy AR lab access. They are running on Server 1, and they hit a Colossus, a Strength 7 Colossus, which is going to resolve with its parenthetical text if it does fire. I think it will have to fire here. Yes, this is going to fire. Waiting on the players to make some decisions. Yep, it's firing. So, INO is going to take 2 more tags and And Colossus is going to trash the Paperclip and going to trash the Jarganu Mercs. Now that Ino is at the data loop, they will not be able to break it. They opt not to encounter it. Seems fairly smart. Yankee gets a Tenon token and is able to play a shipment, and is able to play a mass commercialization for 18, and then plays shipment from Tenon to score out this Obokota protocol. This has been a slog of a game, started off rather slowly. Both players didn't have much in the way of money, and Yankee Flatline is up to 6, and INO 209 has not been able to catch an agenda. INO gaining some credits, playing a sure gamble. Possibly going to drop the daily cast, possibly, nope, opts to run on R&D for their last click. Yankee Flatline does have 15 credits. We'll see what they res. They res a data loop, and a card that is doing real work for them in this game. Data loop, gonna put back the Obelisk and the Levy AR Lab access. Looks like. Tenon, I gotta admit, Tenon Institute is a lot of fun to play. And it can be very challenging too. Knowing how to ice your servers in a given matchup and knowing how to cut the runner off from accesses is essentially the most important thing that you need to do. I really like the inclusion of Honey Farm. Heavily disincentivizes running archives. And INO jacks out. Yankee at 8 credits draws into a Kaguyo, and opts to purge virus counters. Gotta wonder where this Parasite is going to come down. Seems like a very natural choice of an install at this moment. Possibly on the data loop. It's a pretty nasty piece of ice. Instead, opts to drop it on the Komainu. Gonna try to get accesses on HQ either in this turn or in the next couple of turns. And how is INO going to handle the rest of their clicks here? INO, both players really have struggled for money. Yankee's been able to burst up several times with the mass commercializations. And INO has struggled to do a similar burst with the Mars from Martians. At some point, that Levy is going to come out, giving INO quite a bit more steam. But they are up to 15 tags, and it's going to take a lot of credits to fire the counter surveillance from there. They go ahead and run on R&D. Run on archives, install a paperclip, and what are they going to find in archives? They will find 2. Oh, they get a Nisei, a great mill. I believe that was the Parasite that took out the Nisei. And now Ino has got that. And then they decide to run HQ, use the new Data Sucker token to kill the Komainu. And, yep, gonna be into HQ by breaking with Paperclip, paying 1 credit, and they hit a Chrysalis. Alamo. Gonna lose 2 cards to net damage here. Lose the same old thing in the daily cast. Obelisk draws him a card. It's an Obelisk. Yankee draws into Red Planet Couriers. At this point in the game, you gotta wonder if they're gonna use the Project Junebug anytime soon. They do draw into a Bilotic Entanglement. They ice HQ, and they drop the Philotic in the remote. The remote is very well protected with the Data Loop. From the looks of things here, Yankee Flatline's gonna take the game here next turn. See how Ino responds. Ino gains 3 credits and is making a run on HQ. Just missed the Bilotic Entanglement. And what will they access? They access the preemptive action. They draw into Levy from Obelisk. But Yankee Flatline has got it taken care of in Server 1 with a Philotic Entanglement. They opt to play Red Planet Couriers, move 10 tokens to Philotic, and score it that way. Grinder of a game, especially for Ino.